Work, 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 and more work. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in your work area, Sagittarius, as the month of September kicks off. Speaking of kicking off, let's animate this so we can see exactly what these celestial bodies are doing. And as I said, that's the focus right now. I'm Dadhichi, by the way, from astrology.com.au with the month of September 2019. And for those of you that are new, welcome. Just a very brief look at what's going on here, and we can see, as I've said, power in the conjunction of the Sun and Mars in this 10th house, but the combustion, that is the proximity of some of these planets to the Sun, can exacerbate different problems. They give you the drive that you need to achieve, but that can come at some cost. So you need to be careful about how you time events here in your professional activities and how you go about dealing with the higher ups in your work. Here you see the square aspect from the moon to these planets as it conjoins Jupiter here in your sun sign around the 5th and 6th. That can be excessive, to say the least. You may be doing too much, all for the purpose of money, money, money. Down here, Saturn, Ketu, Pluto in the 2nd house of income. That's triggered by the moon's transit here. A rather serious note, I might say, with the moon and Saturn here in finance. You're focused on money, but at what cost? You've got to look at this 7th house, which is your lovers, 11th house, and we're going to talk about the 11th house later because I'm preempting what's coming. In other words, don't lock everything into one narrow field in your life. You need to have some broader based view and also intention for what it is that you're doing. Contracts are shown by the moon in the 3rd house, the way you agree to do things. So that's important around the 11th and the 12th. Then that shifts to matters of family, to more personal domestic affairs around the 13th when the moon transits into this 4th house of the horoscope. The idealistic conjunction with Neptune is simultaneous with the full moon here on the 14th. Look at that. So powerful here. And that indicates a pulling away from the work, if possible. And also a shift with a simultaneous transit of Mercury and Venus in this 11th house of social activity. So here we have two sets of twins. This dynamic pair, Sun and Mars, achieving great directional strength in this 10th house. Sun and Mars do well there. It's also nice to note that the combustion has dissipated now. So Mars, one of your better planets, along with it, these are very, very exceptionally good planets for you, bring the desired results only after the 2nd half of the month. You have to be careful not to compete with your employer. Remember one of those laws of power I told you many, many months ago? I'm trying to remember it now. Never outshine the master being your boss or someone who has a position of authority over you, because that's where you can come unstuck. You need to be conciliatory. If you can do that, for some of you, this is a month where you can achieve some of your dreams professionally and do well. Don't forget relationships. Here on the 20th, 21st, the moon transits through here. There's a wealth of feeling here as shown by the opposition to Jupiter. Don't overdo it. That should continue into the 23rd and 24th here while the moon makes its way into conjunction with your karmic point in the area of intimacy. That's important. You need to balance your work. The ingress of the Sun into Libra, into your 11th house, is what I preempted earlier by saying that the shift does happen in the, the last week of the month, as all of these planets move from this purely career-orientated activity to this social, friendship, networking arena in your life. Now, that may still be partly to do with your work, but I think the nature of your activity is going to change very much in that last week or so of the month. Notice the moon swinging up here. There could be some impulsive moves by some of you as the moon makes a conjunction to Mars on the 28th here. Just be careful. And then at the tail end of the month, what I consider very, very important is this transition again. So you've got those 4 planets and a new moon there on the 29th in this 11th house of friendships. So that occurs right at the tail end of September. And that's very telling because it has to do with making new friends. Not just making new friends. I think it has as much to do with reevaluating the way you engage your friends, the nature of those friendships. And for many of you now, you might start to see that the reciprocation factor isn't quite what it should be. So you have an opportunity of doing that. It's nice to see also that conjunction with Venus, which softens the approach as opposed to the conjunction with Mars. There on the 27, 28, I'd be saying that if you've got to have a deep and meaningful with one of your friends or several of your friends for whatever reason, then it's better to leave it right there till 29th, 30th in the new moon when they will be much, much more receptive. Astrology.com.au is where you can find out more information on this. You can drop me a line. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want that personal reading, which I think is really where the value in astrology is, please contact me and we can make that happen. Till next month, take care and thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.